And hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So it's been a little while since I've shown my face on this channel. We went for a different format recently with the images, etc, but we are in the midst of the transfer window right now and things are really starting to get busy around the Celtic space. So I feel like it's only right I get back on camera and try to discuss as many transfer stories as possible. Now look, not to beat around the bush, the transfer window so far hasn't been the best for Celtic. A lot of the players that we've been linked to just hasn't come to fruition, unfortunately. A lot of the clubs that the players currently play for, they've kind of spoken out and saying that this player's not leaving to go to Celtic, etc. And recently Brendan Rodgers has done a press conference and you kind of get the sense that him himself is getting a little bit frustrated with what's happening at the club currently. The transfer window again hasn't gone to plan, and you do feel like we need a lot of reinforcements to be competitive this season and try and progress in Europe. I mean, I think the league was still the stronger side, of course, but we want to get better and better in Europe, and the transfers we made so far this summer hasn't been the best. Now look, I want to go over what Chris Sutton has said on the Brendan Rodgers situation, and of course I want to go over the main story in today's video, which again is another transfer blow. As a player that we've been linked to for some time, it seems like it's just not going to happen, it's not going to come to anything because his current club has spoken out about a potential transfer for him, making it seem like a move isn't possible for this said player to come to Celtic. But let's go over what Chris Sutton has said with regards to Brendan Rodgers and his future at the club, because of course the press conference did recently, he did look a little bit frustrated. Of course he committed, saying he's going to be here for 3 years. Originally kind of backed up that statement saying, look, you know, I said I'll be here for 3 years minimum, but you kind of get a sense from his tone of his voice that he isn't too happy with the current transfer proceedings at the club. Now, of course, Rodgers is a great manager, don't want him to leave, but Chris Sutton does reckon that he has had enough. So, Chris Sutton said, the manager's comments have got stronger and stronger as the weeks have gone on, but yesterday he really spelled it out in no uncertain terms. We can talk about fans' frustration, but Rodgers feels the same way too. It looks like his patience is starting to wear a little thin at yet another window that hasn't gone to plan. There's no need to try to work out any hidden messages anymore. This was a clear warning. Back me properly or I'm off at the end of the season. You can't blame him. He's the one who will carry the can if things go wrong in Europe or at home. This follows, of course, the manager's comments at the press conference, and it's very interesting that Chris Sutton, as well as the fans, are noticing this with his press conference recently. It's been frustrating for us fans as well, watching what's happened this transfer window, not making any really good signs. Of course, selling Nicholas Kuhn earlier last month, probably our best player in our squad, especially for the first half of last season. He was superb. Jota, of course, being out injured again all season. So, you know, we really do need some reinforcements on the wide areas of the pitch. And defensively as well, we look a little bit weak with, of course, Gustav Lagerbilk leaving to go to Braga permanently, and of course Mark Milwaukee going out on loan to Hanover 96. So this is what we discussed for our second story. As a player that we've been linked to for some time, it looks like this transfer will not go ahead, which again is another massive transfer blow for us this summer. As it really has been a struggle to get players in through the door, or players of high quality that we are linked to. It seems to be a bit of an issue this summer. So the player we are discussing is, of course, defender Victor Eriksson. He's a 23-year-old, of course, that plays in Sweden, and we've been linked to him for some time to, of course, add depth to our back line. As I mentioned, Martin Milwaukee's left, and so has Gustav Lagerbilk, and of course Stephen Welsh has been linked to a move away, with Plymouth Argyle also monitoring his situation at the boys. But the Hammarby boss, who Eriksson plays for, has said he's not for sale. He has played every minute of these last 4 games. It's a very big moment for me too. I've worked with him for 4 years with Varanamo and now in Hammarby. I've seen how hard he has worked and developed as a person and a player. I'm so proud of him. You know, it looks like he does not want to let his player leave. Obviously a very hot prospect across Europe right now, 23-year-old defender. And we actually had Paul Tisdale go out and watch him play in his last match, where he actually scored a last-minute header to win the game for his side. So he's in good form, been a very consistent player for Hammarby for some time. And it's really frustrating that it looks like this transfer won't go ahead. Now, honestly, the window has been a bit poor so far. Of course, we've seen in previous years where the window has started slow for us. We've kind of picked up towards the end, which kind of comes across a little bit panicky. But if we've got our targets in place that we want, and the transfers do happen a bit later on in the window, it's not the end of the world, but hopefully it's not a situation where we start panicking in the last week of the transfer window and we just sign anyone that we can. Of course, we've seen it with Adam Ider a few years ago where he signed on loan, but of course that transfer worked out. Sometimes these panic buys can work out, but the majority of the time they don't really do much for the club. So yeah, hopefully we can get some transfers over the line as soon as possible. Players of high quality, players that will improve the squad. We don't want to sign squad players, of course, that won't really make an impact, because we are trying to progress, of course, domestically, win more trophies, and of course in the Champions League as well, we want to really be getting into the knockout stages again and maybe progress even further than we did last season. So, yeah, a lot of things do need to happen between now and the end of the transfer window. As things stand, it's a little bit frustrating at the moment, but I do have faith in the board to make some good signings as soon as possible. But it is a little bit concerning that you feel when you listen to Brendan Rodgers, he's a little bit frustrated as well, and this could be his last season as Celtic boss if things don't go his way this summer, this season as well, and stuff like that. Of course, it's a bit even more frustrating when you see the other side making a lot of transfers. I mean, I don't believe the hype of a lot of the players they are getting, but they are making moves, of course, with the new ownership. In terms of quality, there's some players that look pretty decent. Of course, they go on a tangent saying they're like world beaters already. That's obviously not the case. But it is still frustrating to see them making a lot of transfers, and we kind of missing out on a lot of different players. Of course, we talked about Balakuish yesterday, the winger from Antwerp. That deal looks like it's stagnated a little bit as well. So all these transfers that were players that have been linked to, they are starting to stagnate, which is really frustrating. But fingers crossed, in the next few weeks we can make some big moves, because that, of course, will fill us with a little bit of hope for the forthcoming season. And hopefully we can just bring a lot more quality into the team and try and be better. But yeah, this is my first video back on camera. It feels a little bit weird, it's been a while, so hopefully it was not too bad. I think I might use this as the format going forward for the next few weeks during the transfer window, because it is so much easier to talk about the transfers that we've got going on whilst giving my own personal opinions on the situation, whereas before we are kind of going by pictures and my voice over it. I do prefer this format a lot more. It feels a bit more interactive with you guys, the audience, and we can kind of discuss the current situation with the transfers in the comment section below. I want to know your thoughts, and of course the SPFL season is starting today as well, so that's something to look forward to. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this transfer blow with Eriksson. A little bit frustrating, of course. Bosses have said this before, and transfers still have happened, but it does feel like a little bit of a sting again with this situation. But yeah, guys, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and yeah, make sure you do subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.